she was at like Olympia when they were like really good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so she was at Olympia. She was one of their key centre backs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think her and Fuchs could be a really good team. I'm feeling that my thing about South Hobart is I think they could be a bit of a glass cannon. They don't have many like.
It's too much that they're not going to gel together. If last week was
yeah, that's exactly. They'll have like they've got King and who else plays centre back for them and Annalise did well. Like they're just like top centre backs. Whereas Bridget Wright is out. She's like running a marathon. And she might come back at some point. But like it's happening.
they quiet last night when they did the depth for Brody and Nick Money and Atkinson. They're not playing for NPL anymore.
All right. So they're going back to like Rangers or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I think I saw that Brody is going to go play footy or something. Yeah. It's Northwest for you. So Taeyun Kim. So young, Lee, 17. Min Hee is number 3, so he plays
Check. Hey mate, hey. That's unreal, that's working. Just wondering, how do you actually get playback through, like just so that, like there's a delay playback through headphones on the mixer? So you can hear yourself, just slightly? It's the focus, right? Red one. No, there wasn't anything about it, eh? No, this is tactics. Oh, isn't it? I mean, I don't need it. As long as you get, like, are you getting me, like, I've got the headset on now, are you getting me coming through channel 1? Yeah. Oh, look, if that... should be pretty stable there. Yeah, just tracking across there now. Cool. What we're thinking of doing as well with these. Shoot it now. Okay. That's fine. Just give me a yell when you're ready. And I'll, yep. You got enough room there? Yeah. Right.
I need a better view at half time. I'll jump further.
Yeah, cool.
Never sure which reaction. It's pretty good here.
what you're intending.
You're right, no.
Hello and welcome to Darcy Street for round one of the WSL in 2025. My name's Alex Mummery. Thanks so much for joining us on Football Tasmania TV YouTube. I'm so excited to start a brand new season, one that has been marked by a lot of change throughout both the WSL and the NPL. No more so than these two clubs have been intertwined in the last couple of years in terms of how much player movement has gone between them all. It should be a cracking game, a bit of a rivalry game, this one, traditionally, as the girls make their way out. South Hobart have had all the news on the off-season with Ken Morton coming across as coach. And, well, two big recruits coming down the outlet from Kingborough themselves, Laura Davis and Danielle Canagisa, who make their way out there today to face their old club in round one. That is the main storyline today, but South Hobart have recruited strongly, just an amazing attacking outfit on paper, but they did come a little bit unstuck last week against Devonport in the Summer Cup final, and I think that might be the difference between them at the moment is just that solidity and chemistry. Can South Hobart build that and challenge for the title again, which they did so well 2 seasons ago? It's a cloudy old day here at Darcy Street weather-wise. Just a little bit of wind. Probably decent conditions for football, really. Pretty cool. And the girls look really excited to go. So I'll run you through the team sheets and we'll talk more about some of those changes as we go through. So South Hobart, the home team in red, we have Casey Ponting, who's in goals. Jenna Farrow is on the team sheet as manager, and that was kind of the big news. Just a storied keeper in the WSL and has played at a higher level, but not making the squad this week. Aaliyah Browning, who's been in the team for the last few years. Sophie Westwood, the captain, out there wearing number 3. Caitlin Stalker is an in from a few. She's been around the WSL a few years ago. That's a big in for South Hobart. Maddie Chambers has been in and out for South Hobart, sort of playing on her breaks from college in America, but is back in the squad from day dot, which will be big in on the wing. Jasmine White is the other prolific striker, coming down from Devonport with a year off last season, and she would be many favourites for the Golden Boot. You would think her teammate and the number 10, Laura Davis, who'll be alongside her, might be one of the challengers for that. She has come down from Kingborough, I think more surprisingly than anyone, given the Davis name down at Kingborough. I know her brothers have played at all sorts of levels down there, and she's been an absolute stalwart for that club. So a big surprise seeing that news this season, but obviously chasing the silverware with South Hobart. Amy Ollington, Danielle Canagisa, another one of those ex-Kingborough players. Ruby Batchelor, who had a great season of fullback last season for South Hobart. And Kate Olahead, who's been running the show at Eagles the last couple of years. They've had a titanic title struggle with University for the last few years. Eagles really improving their women's team over that time, and Olahead, a central part of that, along with Nina Daniels, who isn't on the team sheet today. And for Kingborough, they've had a lot of change, obviously, with Davis and Canagisa coming across. But also change at keeper with Josie Rose, who's wearing the number 1 today. Min Hee Kim is the first of 3 Korean imports wearing the number 3 today. She's gone to take the kick-off for now. Maddie Black, a big in for them, as well as Enya Anderson, Amelia Howell, Tilly Wills, Tegan Hennessy, Lucy Page, Haeyoon Kim, another one of the Korean imports who will take the ball for them now. Anna Fuchs, who will be at centre-back, along So Young Lee. another Korean import for Kingborough. So we get the first kickoff underway for WSL 2025, and the Lions are looking to control it, and that's a nice little dummy from So Young Lee. I think the other big news for Kingborough, not just the transition of Davis and Kanagisa going out for them, is Hannah Walsh is been carrying an injury through pre-season and just on the bench wearing the bib for them today, so you won't see her today. That's a fairly big out for them as South Hobart makes some pressure in the Kingborough box, and the ball isn't the best as Batchelor nods it down the line. Here's Jasmine White getting one of her first touches in South Hobart colours, and I wonder if there's going to be any rust with her with having the year off. And I think the formation will be very interesting as well, what South Hobart play. Again, with so many attacking players, how do you fit them all into a team? Here's one of them, Chambers, and she'll play a nice little through ball. Davis is running onto it. Tries to get around Rose, who does get a glove on it. Teeing it back up for Chambers. Her shot's a little bit weak, and it does tee back out to Ola Head. And she'll have to chase that one down, and it's a long bomb from Kanagisa, who almost finds the top corner and does not in off the top bar. A little bit of confusion from the referee and the South Hobart players whether they cross the line. But just like that, South Hobart hit the front, and Danielle Kanagisa scoring against her old club. They made a note that she was lining up at centre back, which is an unusual position for her, and straight away South Hobart, 2 minutes into the game, go 1-0 up. And with Erica McIntosh going out, Josie Rose, the new Kingborough keeper, just getting a little bit underneath that one. And if you're a Kingborough supporter, not the start that you want to see, but South Hobart, again, how much pressure can they apply? You saw Davis just creating a lot of chaos in the box there, running down a ball that she potentially shouldn't have really got to, and set Chambers back up. And a bit of a fortuitous one, maybe with the wind and how she positioned that one, Kanagisa, but she's bombed it in from long range. And here she is again getting a foot in. Tilly Wheels trying to bomb it up there for Min Hee Kim. Wills will try and tee it up. It's a little bit skew with the South Hobart defence, but Browning will carry it out, and this is what South Hobart will be wanting, getting their attacking players in space. Little ball through. Does it get there? Browning's trying to make a way through. Sorry, White's trying to make her way through. And you just see how much pace they have in the front four, really. Is Chambers, one of those front four, playing on the left today. She used that left foot to try and swing it in. It's away by Hennessy. Kim will find her namesake in Min Hee Kim. It's Ola Head, who's gone into the middle. Goes out wide. Here's Davis on her right foot, and that's a nice piece of handling from Josie Rose. Probably needs that little bit of confidence after the long bomb from Kanagisa. And Kingborough with a pretty young midfield, Amelia Howell, who played a fair bit last season in burst for them. She's going to be taking a bigger role in that while Walsh is out. And looks like Maddie Black is playing as a defensive midfielder, labelled back in her Olympia days more as a centre-back, but I think just playing in front of Fuchs and Hennessy at the moment. It's nice footwork. And the Koreans combine beautifully. That's another piece of lovely footwork by Min Hee Kim. And it goes out wide, but no one out there for Kingborough. People tucking in centrally. Batchelor will launch it into the middle. Black with some lovely control and composure. And that's a nice footwork again from Kim. She'll go around looking for Lee. So young Lee can't
quite make that last little shimmy around Sophie Westwood. Davis just harrying through the middle as she typically does, and that's nicely done from Hal. And again, beautiful footwork from Hae-Yun Kim. And she gets it out towards Hal, but turned over. And South Hobart looking to play a little bit more controlled possession. And you wonder what the influence of Morton has been on this pre-season. I think you'll see that just a little bit more composure through the back line. There's a bit of pressure applied by Chambers. It's Lucy Page trying to sort her feet out. And I think that's the only thing, if you're a South Hobart fan, you may be worried a little bit about. You can see Kanagisa playing centre-back today. Probably not her natural position. Bridget Wright is having a bit of a break as Davis pulls the trigger and easily fielded by Rose. And she absolutely bombs up the field. There is a little bit of wind going into that corner, but it's a hefty boot from the Kingborough keeper. So maybe Morton wanting a little bit more control in the back line. And Westwood spent a lot of last season injured, and having her back will also fill the South Hobart fans with a bit more confidence back there. Stalker lumps it up towards Davis, and it just goes clear from Hennessy. It's a decent clearance. Had to make sure she avoided the lurking Maddie Chambers. Goes back into the middle. Wills with another nice turn. Kingborough just getting on the ball here, and Black maintaining that tempo. Hal's trying to find a gap, and she can't. Back up to Kim. It's nicely done by Page. See Kingborough trying to play some nice patterns. They've obviously been working on that throughout the pre-season. Hennessy with a nice little turn. Final ball doesn't find its intended target. Kanagisa will lump it back up forward looking for Davis. Browning just over infringing there. Hennessy again looking for Wills. Again mopped up by Kanagisa, who's looked very comfortable in centre-back so far. Really difficult ball for Fuchs to deal with. Davis on her left foot and just slices underneath that one. Very two-footed player, Laura Davis, and just had a little bobble. I think the pressure from Fuchs was enough, but really chaotic ball for the Kingborough centre-back to deal with. As Rose takes a goal kick, it's all ahead. It's nicely sprayed out by Kim. Definite quality in the midfield, and Wills just hurried herself up a little bit there. Be Westwood, and spread it out wide. That's nicely done. Up the Stalker. Doesn't quite get through the middle. Another lovely turn from Kim. She finds Young. We're so Young Lee. And then back out wide for the other Kim. And Lee just not being able to control that one. Will's trying to cut inside on her left foot. Stands it back up for Min Hee Kim. There's Lee again. And first shot from Kingborough. Not a bad one. It finds the target, but no real power on it. And you can see the Koreans already linking up beautifully. They've got that extra little bit of technical quality. But do they have the battering ram pace of this South Hobart front line? Here's Davis again trying to take her opportunity. As White and Davis already a lot to handle for this Kingborough defence. It's nicely done by Black. Hae-Yoon Kim. Howells. Beautiful little turn. She's been looking good so far today. Here's So Young Lee. That ball doesn't get through. All ahead, spreading it out wide. Stalker in space. It's Jasmine White. She's got Davis in the box. He's made a good run. Gets on the end of it. Just bounces over her foot. And collected safely by Rose in the end. That was a tantalising ball. Nice little bit of overlapping play there from White and Stalker. See, Stalker sort of operating as a bit of a wider midfielder. Pseudo winger at times. She goes down the line. And just evades her of being able to put a cross in. Well, shielded off by Amelia Howell. And I think Kingborough just trying to settle things down a little bit. That first 2 or 3 minutes was all energy from South Hobart, and I think they're also happy to just build on their possession style of play. Rose will send it into the mixer. Batchelor, little nod forward. Browning. Stalker. And Black again. See how composed she is. And Howell trying to chase that one down. But it will be a South Hobart throw-in. Probably here on the mics. The wind's just picking up a little bit here conditions-wise, and there's a little bit of rain just in the air. As Rose gets pressured intensely by White. And a little bit lucky not to ricochet in a more dangerous position. Ball goes in from Page, and South Hobart will have it again. They've had a lot of ball in this sort of area so far. Here's Davis. Lovely little slip pass. White can't sort of feet out, so she'll get gang tackled by the Lions. Can they clear it? They do eventually. And it's been well controlled by Westwood and Kanagisa at the back so far for South Hobart. And spreading the ball around nicely back there as Davis characteristically turns the corner. And looking for her strike counterpart. And South Hobart will take the first set piece of the day. Browning making her way over to take it. No Pishon Choi for South Hobart, who over the last few years has been an absolute weapon at set pieces for them. So looks like they've got a little set play going. It's a decent ball in from Browning. It's well away by Hennessy. Batchelor tries to follow in. And still in, but Browning was offside. Not made her way back from taking that corner. As Rose will find Wheels. Ball from Page. Didn't really realise where Chambers was, but dealt with it well. The Hae-Yoon Kim. For Min-hee Kim. She's chasing one down. That wind might just take that ball out. Play, but Kanagisa negotiates it okay. Ponting tried to go back into trouble. Well done by Min-hee Kim to make that error. And Kingborough, as I said, they have been working their way back into this game a little bit. I think the more they can get the likes of Min-hee and Hae-Yoon Kim on the ball, they'll feel more and more comfortable. And it's a really interesting little change-up, I guess, in playing style for them. Very counter-attacking team over the last 2-3 years, with Davis as the focal point, trying to sort of steamroll through opponents. This will be a slightly more considered approach, you feel, this year from the Lions. It's a nice ball in. Canagisa's underneath that one, though. She heads away for South Hobart. Wills with an interesting little shot, but floats over the bar. And again, I think Kingborough will feel a little bit more confident that they can maybe pull one back here. South, again, as is a typical Ken Morton style, they'll be playing out from the back. And it's nicely managed so far. All ahead. Probably bears another mention about, her just making that step back into WSL football. A few years over at Newtown Eagles, and really made a difference. Well, probably one of, along with maybe the Youngs at university, the best players in that division, and look comfortable so far making a step back into WSL. Interesting to see her just sort of controlling that midfield for them. And again, this is a little bit of a change from last year for South Hobart there. They're trying to spread around the back a little bit more. I think at times last year they would try and go forward all the time. At least they're trying to get the switch going. That's nicely done by all ahead. Batchelor. Ball through is a good one. White using her pace. It's a good touch. Can she take it on her right foot? Tries to slice it into the far corner. Maybe just Hennessy with a sliding tackle doing enough to just take it away from her there at the end. And that's that first little classic Jasmine White little run through. She's just got that extra burst of pace and reads where to run in between defenders so well. You almost thought last season with Devonport losing White that it wouldn't be an easy road for them, but only lost a couple of points all season last year. And Lee in space here. She's got a bit of space. Cuts inside well and well cut off by Kanagisa. Lee proving her centre-back credentials today. May have to stay back there all season if she keeps going like she is. Here's White again turning the corner well. Stalker's out wide, but the ball's a bit narrow. And we'll just be out for another South Hobart throw in. Kingborough clearance. Have been under the pump, this Kingborough back four. The pressing from the front couple in South Hobart has been a lot to deal with. It's a lump back in towards Fuchs. We had more time than she thought there, but still finds Howe well. And that ball comes through. Again, Min-hee Kim doing well with So Young Lee. It's not the worst ball, but a little bit behind Tilly Wheels. Batchelor. Ball goes up to Chambers, but just miscontrols it a little bit. That should be a good battle today. Tilly Wheels was pretty impressive when she came over to Kingborough last season. And Batchelor, as I said, had an excellent year at fullback for South Hobart. One of my favourite players to watch. And I think it will be pretty evenly matched over there, and that's well done. Be Lee again. Kim. The Min-hee variety. Hae-yun Kim. And she gets fouled. And a little bit ginger. It's a little knock in the guts. On the nose and back up. Brief breather. Pretty good position for Kingborough here. Again, missing Anna Walsh is a massive out for a number of reasons, but for a dead ball prowess, maybe more than anything. She's the match manager today, prowling the sidelines for Kingborough. So, we'll see if Min-hee Kim, who looks like she is the one to step up over this, she has in her bag. Ken Morton just having a word to Laura Davis. I think hoping not to get too narrow up there for South Hobart. Kingborough playing a nice narrow back four. Kim to take. She sizes it up. Hits it pretty well off the wall, sorry. All ahead, and Westwood do sort it out. A bit of a counter press opportunity for Kingborough here. Westwood with a clearance come. Nice pass to Davis. She'll get on her bike. She tends to do. She's got Stalker in space out wide. Goes narrow though to White. Does well to press it back though. Here is Caitlin Stalker. Going wide. And taken away well by the Kingborough defence. They're holding strong so far. Been a couple of good opportunities for South Hobart. Jasmine White with a nice little run through. And really the goal coming out of nowhere from Kanagisa. I think Kingborough will be happy with how they've responded. They've worked their way back into the game a little bit, but still South Hobart well on top. Decent ball in, it floats over Rose, and Kanagisa got up high and skims off her head. Wills will field it. And Davis, again, doing a lot of forward pressure up there for South Hobart. It's been a real good focal point for them defensively. Able to start the press and create more opportunities by winning the ball back quickly. That's one thing she does very well. Browning pulls the trigger, goes for another little lob over the top of Rose. Probably worth an effort. Some backspin on it, held up in the wind. Rose has an enormous kick on her. Well read by South Hobart defence again. All ahead. Chipped up, and the ball's another half chance for White to get on the end of that. Fuchs just doing enough with a little skimmed header, and it's harried out wide by Kingborough, and they're looking to break through Kim and Young again. Min Hee Kim. Yoon Kim, who's done very well again, just creating those little opportunities. So Young Lee, nicely done, beats two South Hobart defenders, winds up and hits it well, and just across the face of goal had Ponting sprawled, and So Young Lee herself is sprawled along the ground there. A little bit of desperation. You can see working her way off that left wing, cutting inside, just drifts across the ground beautifully. Very tight angle. Did pretty well, but not troubling the goals. South Hobart playing out again. They get a bit stuck in this midfield now. Black's done well to clog it up. Lovely feet from Haeyoon Kim. Nice high ball. And Hennessy working hard. Back in centre back for the Lions. Had a fair bit of work to do already. We're about 24 minutes gone in this game. Howells with a toe through. Kim can't get it. Howells will try and shield off Browning. Does enough. Black plays a nice ball through. And Page links up well with Will. She's got two South Hobart shirts to deal with. Sells them both and then just calms it down beautifully. Kingborough have been doing these little triangles beautifully. And you can just see the injection of these Korean imports, that what sort of style shift it's had on them. It's beautiful little triangles. Maybe a little bit more width, they'd have a release pass, but really trying to work it through that midfield. White just mishandling it again. Again, maybe just a little bit of ring rust for Jasmine White. The full year off. I know she's been involved in pre-season, but nothing like when you actually get out there, say the bright lights of Darcy Street, but South Hobart again to get it going. Stalker cutting inside. This is Browning. She play the ball through. Davis is onside. Does she have space to shoot? Goes to tee it up to White, just across the face of the goal, and all ahead with a follow-up, and well chopped out by the Kingborough defence. Managed it well. That was a lovely, tantalising ball again from Davis. And just having that confidence that she's got some support behind her in Jasmine White. Again, just half a step away from actually making contact, and Kingborough keep it 1-0 for now. Browning's delivery so far today has been excellent. She will be over the corner again. Looking for the likes of Olehead here. Up in the Olehead direction, jumps with Rose. So does Kanagisa, and Rose with a good little recovery lies on that ball. And again, launches it long. Batchelor had to make that header. Min-Hee Kim was lurking, but is a challenging one for Ollington. It's a bit of a self-sabotaging ball there as So Young Lee tries to chase that one down for Kingborough. And away by Westwood. You do feel, even though South Hobart, you know, were clear second last season, but fair way off it in those games against Devonport. With the change this season, they're so good on paper, but it will just take a little bit of time to gel in getting them up and firing to the full capabilities. You can already see the glimpses of what's there, though. Davis, in particular, has been creating a lot of good opportunities for them. It's a nice little skidder throw in. Howes. So I'm just into the general direction of the box as Black will come through. Kanagisa heading back for South Hobart. H had to get there, and her touch is a little bit long, but I think if that found its way into the path of Maddie Chambers, it would have been a very good counter-attacking opportunity. She gets a foot in with Chambers, and Hennessy and Page do just foul Chambers. And South will have a free kick in a decent area. Batchelor will lump it into the area. Davis running around behind her. She'll try and take on the fullback. Can she get to the byline again? Oh, beautiful little cut back, but cut out well by Black, who's just been in perfect position for Kingborough so far today. And definitely South Hobart with the territory at the moment. Kingborough, again, just working their way back into it. And I think if they can hold this sustained period, without conceding one or two more, they'll be right in this game. Howes with I almost said a hospital pass, but it worked out okay for Wills. Hayoon Kim, iconic style. It's Page, gets it back. Trying to look for a namesake, Min-Hee Kim. Well cut out by Aaliyah Browning. Skidded ball over the top. And White again. Just hasn't quite had her first touch fully firing today, but making the right runs. Really likes to probe that space in behind. Kanagisa works it well through the middle with Olehead. Ollington, she'll get it out to Caitlin Stalker. And coming back after a break for South Hobart. It's a nice 1-2. Ball in over the top of Rose, who has to fish it out of off the line. Doesn't cross the line. For half a second I thought that went in. Well saved over her head. It's like she's a bit ginger. It's a difficult one to deal with, just the way that floated over everyone. Ball finds its way to Stalker. She'll just poke it into the box, and just took a hop in front of Jasmine White and leant back on that one and popped it over the bar. Getting in good positions, Jasmine White, but again, just that little bit of sharpness potentially lacking in that first game for South Hobart. It's another really nice little pass into the middle. And still 1-0 for the time being. About 15 minutes to go for the half. As Kingborough try and play out. The Wills, who's had 2 or 3 players to deal with at all times. Good feed again from Hayoon Kim. Hennessy. It's a bit of time for Wills. Page did drop the shoulder. But faked everyone out, even herself in the end. It is turned straight back over. Interesting formationally what South Hobart are doing. They've almost got a 4 up front. They're playing 2 strikers, which you don't see a heap of in modern football. They've got White and Davis playing quite centrally. You can see them there playing in between the lines at the moment. And then Chambers and Stalker a little bit more withdrawn. And then Browning and Olahead, almost a 4-2-2-2, like you'd see a lot more of in the early 2000s or on your FIFA gameplay, if that's your persuasion. And so far the little strike force duo has been working quite well. There's been some nice little combinations that they've been able to play, and they're always going to have someone running in behind South Hobart, given the pace of White and Davis and just the directness they both like to play with. It just does mean that Browning and Olahead are having to do a lot of work in the middle. Browning's been everywhere so far for South Hobart, going forward and back. And defensively, you can see Chambers and Stalker tucking in a little bit more, making it more like a 4-4-2. So pretty little interesting tactical tweak that Ken Morton is pulling with this team. And that was a question, is how do you fit all of these great attacking players on the park? Where do you play them? How do you play them? So far it's looked pretty good for South Hobart. That ball's in the box. White can control it this time, and again it takes just a hop in front of her. And Hennessy averts danger for now. Browning tees it up, and that will skid through and out of play. And he's a bit of a new role for Aaliyah Browning as well, potentially. I don't know, again, don't know whether this will be holding like this for the full season, but playing more as almost a defensive type of midfielder, box-to-box midfielder. Olahead will play a little bit deeper than her. And she's got the running capacity to be able to do that. But with Gracie Baez going back over to Knights, I guess the spiritual successor from that Zebras team a few years ago, as Davis takes it down well, tees it back up for White, can't quite bust her way through the top of the box. And Pishon Choi and also Lucy Roberts not in the team. He's just a bit of a makeshift midfield, but working quite well for the moment, South Hobart, and Browning has been really crucial to that. Stalker will cut in from that right-hand side for now and lump it away. Tegan Hennessy has had to do that quite a bit for Kingborough. Westwood relishing this opportunity to spray these balls out wide. That's a lovely little through ball from Batchelor. Flag stays down for now. White again gets the body on it, and the referee does make the call for a penalty. White went down, and I think it was maybe Anna Fuchs who's gone up for that one. Potentially Page. You can see, actually, I think it was Page, left back. A little bit upset about that one from their behalf. Pretty shoulder to shoulder. Maybe didn't get enough of the ball for the referee's liking. And it will be a penalty. So an opportunity to go 2-0 up for South Hobart just before half time. Jasmine White is over the ball. She just slots it home calmly. And her first goal in South Hobart colours, earned via the penalty spot, but earned by Jasmine White. And making it 2 with about 10 minutes to play in this second half. And maybe just a little bit of confidence for Jasmine White as well. Touch has not been at 100% today, but that one may steady the nerves just to see the ball go in the back of the net. And she's been putting herself in those threatening positions, and that run through the Kingborough defence there was another example of that. So it will be restarted, and South Hobart straight on the front foot again. Davis trying to beat Hennessy, and Hennessy has to work hard to get it out of play. And just wonder what sort of levers the Kingborough coaching staff will want to be pulling at half-time now. 2-0 is a very different equation to 1-0. That's a nice ball. Lee could have let that run potentially, but she's cut back inside. And looking for Kim, but Batchelor almost slides through. Page. Wheels just with a little bobble. Howe. Ooh, that's a friendly fire. Browning into Olahead. Chambers. Page getting a foot in. You see Page doing well after a slow start. Want to come back from giving away the pen. Here's Black. Howe. Just found its way over the touchline. It's nicely done by Chambers. White's onside again. Times her run well. 1-on-1 with the keeper, and Rose gets a foot to it, but White follows up, and Rose follows up again with a beautiful double save. Firstly, 1-on-1 with the feet, and then just scrambling back, sprawled fully, stretched fully, and gets it out of play for Kingborough. Keeps it 2-0. White was waiting for the keeper to make a move, but Rose just psyched her out a little bit and then followed up well. But a beautiful save, and that will give Kingborough keeper a little bit more confidence. Browning with another good corner, but away by Fuchs calmly. Kingborough need to get out here, but they'll get Browning to tee one up again. It's a nice skidding ball in. Floats over one head, but away by Hennessy. Westwood. Back in for Davis on her left foot and flashes across goal. The other game just getting underway in the WSL 10 minutes ago, Devonport versus Riverside. Interesting to see how that Riverside team is shaped up. Definitely some good recruiting they've done over the off-season. I think they could be a much improved team, but you'd expect Devonport to get the points in that one, just the amount of experience they have. That ball getting spread out wide. The other game is Taroona versus Lonnie United. Lonnie United with a few outs. Riverside has been potentially poaching a couple of their players, but also a few ins of their own, and Taroona with a couple of interesting new faces as well. They'll be wanting to improve into the year. And Glenelg Knights with the bye this week. For mine, one of the more exciting teams in the WSL. Just the amount of talented youth they have, and would have a really good vibe over there at the moment. You would expect South and Devonport to be the two at the top again. South with a little bit of a rejig in terms of player personnel this season. And they've so far done the business. And that's an interesting little flick. Again, trying to chip Josie Rose. A solid 2-0 lead here at Darcy Street. Wind's dropped off just a little bit as well. Wills, a little half sniff of getting that one into Lee. Black chopping that one out of traffic, but straight to Chambers. It's going to go straight up the line. A lot of space to run into. Such a powerful runner with Chambers, and it's Page in the head on the way through. Batchelor with a curling ball in. Davis just gets there first. Rose came, didn't get it. Controls it well and puts it away in the open goal, and that will be the first goal for Laura Davis in the red and the navy of South Hobart. Muted celebrations against her old club. But 3-0 before half-time for South Hobart, and we're just talking about what sort of signal this will send to the rest of the competition if they run up a cricket score in the second half. And for Kingborough, I think it's a matter of not letting their heads drop. You can see the energy is just already a little bit low, and maybe they just have to creep in towards half-time and take a breather, reassess what they're doing. It hasn't been all one-way traffic. There's been a few good passages of play from Kingborough, definitely through the likes of Kim and Lee and Black. Had some possession in these sorts of areas, but it's so far away from their goals. And Page will get it into the mixer. So almost a one-on-one. Olahead recovers well though. So young Lee to Min-hee Kim. Shapes well and used her body brilliantly to put that on her left foot over the bar. As I said, it hasn't been all one-way traffic, but the chances that Kingborough have had have come from tight angles. You do feel that the So Young Lee and Min-hee Kim combination up there will do some damage to the WSL this season. Stalker finding that little space in between the lines again. This is 4-2-2-2 formation that they've been playing. It's actually meant that Chambers and Stalker have had quite a lot of it just in that in-between space where the defensive midfielders aren't, a little bit wider, and maybe before the fullbacks are really ready to press onto them. Browning's through ball gets blocked off. She does play it again, and Davis again is onside. She will be one-on-one with the keeper again. Shaped it up well and puts it away. Bottom corner, calm as you like. 4-0 to South Hobart before half-time. And that pacey duo up front, it's just a delicious sort of through ball put through. And if you're a fullback or a defensive midfielder with this strike duo, you'd be licking your chops at how many assists you might get this season. Laura Davis skipping through in behind and getting her tally up to 2 for the game. Kingborough, again, I would have wanted to keep it at 1 or 2-0 at half and sort of go from there. So they had some chances of their own. They haven't been the high quality ones that South Hobart have had. Have basically been one-on-one with the keeper each time. As Rose not sure whether to come or go. Davis takes it early, he goes for the chip and misses and gets a bit of a razz up from the Kingborough supporters. Over towards my left. It might be a little bit late, given she's already scored a couple. But yeah, Kingborough do need some energy. You can see there it's a little bit flat. And they're starting to really feel the pressure of how much pressure South Hobart have put under for them. It's up the line. Ollington will square it. Floats over there to Fuchs, and White also misses it. Chambers trying to sort out her feet. And ultimately shut down by Hae-Yun Kim. It hasn't been a heap of stoppage time, so half time will be with us momentarily. Black just launches it up towards Lee. Almost gets through the back of Carnegie, so it's slightly under hit, and Ponting's clearance is not the best. Wills tries to bring it down. Batchelor, again, an emergency situation, a cool head. Well shut down by Wills. Away by Wills again, just in a little bit of a holding pattern. I think we're just limping towards half time a little bit. I think maybe just this first really full intensive game. First match day always brings out those tired legs. It's nicely done by Hae-Yun Kim. The two South Hobart players to deal with. Makes a foul on the way out. Chambers able to do enough to get the ball. Batchelor in a decent area for her. Likes to play these early balls. It's floated up. Away by Hennessy. Kanagisa collects for South Hobart. It's a nice ball through. Chambers trying to cut inside, and Wills comes through with a destroyer's challenge. Holds it up well. And Lee and Kim have to work it out. Hal's trying to come through. Enya Anderson will bring the first half to a close. A pretty comprehensive half from South Hobart, really signalling their intent for this WSL season. They got it underway with a long bomb off the bar.
Surprise Fries is back at Macca's with instant prizes like food, cash and gift cards, plus weekly draws to win 10k cash and our surprisiest prizes ever. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win.
And White slotted away beautifully for her first in South Hobart colours, and then Laura Davis.
Surprise Fries is back at Macca's with instant prizes like food, cash and gift cards, plus weekly draws to win 10k cash and our surprisiest prizes ever. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win.
Kingborough looking a little bit weary at the end of that half. We'll have to do a little bit of soul searching and see if they can get back in this one. It hasn't been all one-way traffic, but definitely South Hobart on top for this one. So we take our little break for half time, and we'll rejoin you in just a few minutes, and we'll see you back.
Surprise Fries is back at Macca's with instant prizes like food, cash and gift cards, plus weekly draws to win 10k cash and our surprisiest prizes ever. Play for a 1 in 3 chance to win.
Yeah. I'm all good, thanks.
plug it straight into cam, because obviously I can't take the focus right now because that needs close power, and then just go straight into input 1 and then just have them both talk, one talk into it and answer. Like, is that fine? That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, okay. Cool. Okay. And just for framing as well, what you guys typically do is just sort of just both stand in front of the camera. It's as if the interviewer on the interviewer, or just a chit chat. Yeah, just a chit chat. Cool. Okay. I'm around. Thanks, mate. Wait.
Yeah. That'll be good. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Normally just set up like, like maybe on the grass, and then we can do it, whatever lights best, and then, I'll just be out of shot most of the time, it's normally, I don't mind. Last year typically we just because we had the remote models, I'd be completely out of the way. And weirdly, like our production people wanted them to be like, if they were like, they wanted like give it to the camera, so I'd like stand next to the camera person. But that's like, I don't think you do that. I don't think you do that. I think you still, most maybe do. Mix with this body head or not a disadvantage head, I don't mind.
Thank you for it.
Thanks.
reckon. Just give me 1 sec. Give me a hoy when you're ready. 1 minute. Welcome back to Darcy Street for this round 1 of the 2025 WSL season. South Hobart are 4-0 up on Kingborough at the moment. It's been a really strong finish to the half for them, scoring a few goals within the last 15 minutes. Kingborough have not been as bad as the scoreline suggests. There's a few chances of their own, and they've been in the game for sure, but South Hobart just so much quality all over the park that has been transferred onto the scoreboard. My name's Alex Mummery, and thank you again for joining us. Conditions here still pretty good for football. Wind is dropped off a little bit, maybe swirling around. No sun whatsoever, pretty overcast, but as good as the pitch you're going to get this season at Darcy Street for just the sheer amount of teams they have, and the weather takes its toll on that. It's been good football so far. You can see South trying to implement just a slightly different style of play under Ken Morton, transferring that over this season, and Kingborough with a very different style, but one that, again, has competed at times, at others just fallen over in those crucial moments. So South will just be looking to put more hurt on the Lions and see how the Lions have responded at half-time, and if they'll respond at all. South will straight back on the front foot. Stalker swings it in. It's a decent little ball. Back in by Chambers, but couldn't find Jasmine White. And the wind, again, it has dropped off just a little bit, but it was blowing towards the right of screen, which is the way South Hobart are going at the moment. I wonder if that will have any effect as Rose will play it out. This has been typical of Kingborough's game, trying to play in these triangles and shift the ball through that midfield. It hasn't come together in total syncopation so far, or synchronisation I should say. Those music fans will be on my back for getting those two mixed up. Olahead has been impressive in her debut. Is Chambers. Using those quick feet and the powerful athleticism that she does have, trying to get around Hennessy, but blocked off well again. Kingborough very deep here. Just trying to see if they've made any changes. Looks like Black is almost might just be for this passage of play, but as a kind of third centre back, maybe that's a little tweak they're going to, trying to shore it up. See her directing traffic, very experienced player through years at Olympia and then interstate. There's Page.
So Young, Lee just missing it. And again, we don't have the luxury of the assistant referee to tell us when we've had subs. Looks like Sammy Watkins has come in for South Hobart, playing on this right-hand side. Also an ex-Kingborough player, coming over last season. It's nicely done by Lee. Good footwork, but lost it off the back of her heel, and Watkins cuts inside. Here's Chambers. Bumps it over the top. We can see that she loves to play that ball in behind for Davis, and Black squirting it out wide. It looks like she has moved back to centre back. Kingborough are trying something a little bit different. That ball in from Stalkers, not the best. We'll come back out for Watkins. It looks like she's playing a right fullback position. I don't think I've ever seen her play there. It's a very attacking formation that Morton is going for, and that is just the thing about South Hobart. Was remarking at half-time about just how much quality they have, and it's so much attacking quality too. Still got Moutsatsos on the bench, and to have Watkins come on and play fullback for you, someone who traditionally played as an inside winger. There she is again. Fuchs now, trying to spray the ball out wide, and doesn't find its target. She'll have to cover her own mistake. White just tiptoeing around, tries to cut inside and stands one up. Not really a cross or a shot on that one. Got caught in between a little bit. South Hobart remaining in this 4-2-2-2 formation. Seems to be working pretty well for them so far. They have not been overrun in midfield, which might be really the weakness of that formation, but Olahead and Browning holding pretty strong. Min-Hee Kim having to deal with Olahead and Westwood. She's done well just to earn a free kick. I think for Kingborough, they'll just want to try to at least get one goal in this game. See where they can go from there. Here's Wills, tees it up for Howells. I think she wanted to shoot, felt like she didn't have anyone in front of her. Skews it and slices it up into the awaiting arms of Casey Ponting. Olahead with a raking ball out wide. Stalker just jumps over the top of it. It's a fast-thinking play. And Watkins can't get there. Hayoon Kim with, again, just having so many red shirts for company. You can see how South Hobart have really targeted her, making sure they can't play through her. I think once Walsh is back up and running for Kingborough, that will make life easier for Hayoon Kim in that midfield. Min-Hee Kim fakes a shot, has to get spread out wide, and Westwood with a good toe in. And body-to-body contact, and Kingborough will keep possession through the throw-in. Westwood, and covering very well today. It's doing a little understated role. And without our usual centre-back compatriot in Bridget Wright, who may or may not be in for South Hobart later in the season, under good authority. Just pursuing other athletic pursuits for a little bit, having a little break. Kanagisa slotted in also quite well at centre-back. And she sort of taking up a little bit more of that ball-playing mantle for South Hobart. Spread out wide for Kingborough. Only one in the middle. So young Lee was there. Ponting onto it fairly smoothly. Watkins has the fresh legs to South Hobart. Playing in a new position at fullback. Underlaps her winger. Stalker rakes her way through the middle. Chambers. Low ball in and collected easily by Rose. Thumps it forward again. Difficult ball to deal with. Wills jumps at it and able to squeeze it through to Min Hee Kim, who does earn a free kick. South Hobart players, Kanagisa having a little word to the referee, and just got to be careful not to the card, just saying that down a bit easy there, but referee stern in his decision making. Hennessy, who's gone over to right back, so it isn't a three at a back. They've just changed the personnel back there for Kingborough, and it's not the best free kick in the end. Looking just off on the wrong wavelength there with Min Hee Kim. Lucy Page playing as quite a deep defensive midfielder. Here's Black, solid back there. Here is Lucy Page. Plays it first time for Howes. Maybe wasn't quite expecting it that early. Browning, who's in a real engine in the midfield there for South Hobart today. Watkins on her left foot and then skewing it wide. And will be a flying fullback option for them if that's her full-time position this season. I guess that was the other question I sort of had around this South Hobart side, is sort of how do those fringe players fit into this, and will there be any disgruntlement over the off-season about playing time? You see Baez going over to Knights in search of that. She was definitely not a fringe player last season, but just making a little bit of a change with the amount of players coming in. Ball into Kanagisa. So have the likes of Nina Daniels, who played at Beachside and then Eagles, along with Ola Head. And players from previous seasons. It's nice feet from Lee. And she'll find Kim. Cuts inside. Min Hee Kim. It's a good challenge from Watkins. Found all of the ball. Harried off it by Haeyoon Kim. She just pokes a little shot in towards Ponting. You can see the Korean girls off their feet a little bit here. To carry a lot of effort in their attacking pursuits for Kingborough. But eventually just being a little bit out-physicaled by South Hobart at the moment. Ponting sorts out her feet. She plays a nice little ball over the top for Watkins. Gets pressured by Min Hee Kim. Cuts inside. The Stalker. White around the back. And well out of play. Anderson will throw it back in. It'll be Black, who again's gone back into that centre back for Kingborough. And this may be just a bit of a test from the Kingborough coaching staff. Maybe potentially playing the likes of South Hobart and Devonport about how they line up, whether they want Black as the holding midfielder or as a centre back. Hennessy nods away. Crucial header. Stood back in by Batchelor. A nice curling ball. Did get to White, who went for a little half bicycle kick. Stalker spins away, but just out of play. Little fake from Lee. The player behind her, she'll need a shout from her teammates and trying to get a little bit fancy controlling it. Watkins with the throw. Back out wide. Goes Stalker. Bounding around on that wing, South Hobart. Kingborough trying to play their way out of trouble. They evade a couple of South Hobart tackles. Back in to Page. He's in trouble, but does well to harry it back out. That was the ball that needed to be made, but well cut out and well read by Olahead. He goes White, just skipping through. Can she stand it back out for Davis at the back post? And well done by Rose. They're just looking for that little stand up between them. If they find themselves a little bit wide, a little lateral pass, if they have that routine in the back pocket. So Young tries to break it out wide for Wills. Massive sliding challenge from Kanagisa. Equipping herself well at centre back. Up forward, Chambers again looking for that through pass to White and does find her. Skipping through again and goes near post and well held by Rose again. It's been solid with her hands today and it's been launching it long again. It's impressed by the old AFL style kick. Page has Watkins for trouble and Watkins got her foot in, out of play. Kingborough just trying to get a foothold in this game. Been really struggling to just get that ball in that central area for that clear-cut chance. South Hobart have not struggled. Here's Davis on a left foot, hits it well and puts it away for a hat-trick against her old club. Her first appearance for South Hobart. Lovely little slot into the bottom corner. And you can just see White and Davis peeling off for those through balls, and it's just a delight to play it through for them. And finished with aplomb, emphatically into the bottom corner. That's what you want to see from one of your strikers. And as I said earlier, it's great to see a two-person up-top strike partnership. Just don't see it too much these days in football generally, but it still can be effective if you have the cattle. So it will be 5 for South. And you can really, I mean, 4 is probably enough to ward off any comeback, but I think 5 should be out of the question here for the Lions. But they will still have a lot to play for, being the first game of the season. There's stuff to work on, whether they can get a goal, get a little bit of confidence going for their season. What do they need to work on in training? What do they need to work on in the games? I think they've battled at times, but just getting a little bit outclassed by the pressure that South Hobart have been putting them under. And yeah, really just adapting to the lack of focal point. I guess they have, I mean, Kim's been quite good up forward for them, to be fair, but Davis gave them that dynamicism that she's showing today. As Stalker tees that one up and tests Rose as well. Just a little bit more bend on that one, and you can see that one going in the top corner. Worth a go for Caitlin Stalker. Rose, aside from that first sort of minute or two where got caught underneath it, Danielle Kanagisa high ball, pretty solid back there for Kingborough. Made some great little double save to deny Davis another goal. Again, peeling off his Stalker. She'll go low this time. White tries to roll her opponent. Well away by Anna Fuchs. Wills again, just a little bit tired, I think, this Kingborough outfit. Still got half an hour to play, though. So I need to have to find something to not get too downtrodden in this game. It's a nice challenge. Hennessy, who has also had a lot to do back there for the Lions. Turning the corner is Chambers, not on her favoured left foot to shoot though, so tries to roll it in towards White. South Hobart working it out well. Chipped up forward for Kim to try and chase down. Now we'll make a substitution, South Hobart. With Lucy Booth coming on. And Ruby Batchelor going off on that far side. Booth made a few cameos last season to South Hobart. They were ravaged by injury throughout the season, and Booth ended up playing quite a lot for South Hobart and did impress in her time in the senior side. There's a lot of energy to run. She will take up that mantle of the left fullback and immediately under pressure. It's not exactly what you want as soon as you come on, but does well to work it out to Chambers. Ponting trying to play it out. A little bit of pressure applied by Page. It's well done by Howell. Browning bursting through the middle again. You'd never vote against the hat-trick for best on, but for mine, Browning has been one of the more important players for South Hobart today. He's done a power of work in there. That's a lovely little ball through. Can Wills run onto this one? Gets a little chop down, and it is a foul or a penalty. We'll just see what's clarified here. Yeah, just outside the box. It looked like it had just been made just outside. And a yellow card as well for the substitute has just come on. And, well, this might be the best opportunity for Kingborough all day. Kim hit one a fair bit further back than this earlier on, and she hit it pretty well. Did catch the top of the wall, but you could see that one sailing in if not. And again, the lack of Hannah Walsh today for Kingborough has been definitely felt throughout the whole game, but see if Kim can't step in to fill her shoes over the dead ball. It is Min Hee Kim. Again, hits it well, but straight into the wall, followed up and blocked again. A little bit of traffic at the top of the box, and Lee cops one in the face. Says she got stuttered as well. And the referee says no foul. Opting for the power rather than precision there in Hee Kim from that sort of range. Just need to pop that one over the top, and it looks like Tilly Wills has caught one in the face, maybe in the lip, and it has a little wound from that little interplay. Not a pleasant one, just copping one right in the head. There's a good throw in, and just needed a little bit more support at the top of the box. The Kim connection was about to be made, but more blocked away. As Hae-Yun will go over to take the corner. And Kingborough pressing here. Again, probably out of it in terms of getting the 3 points today, but if they can get a little bit of momentum for their season late in this game, as Lee gets blocked away and Browning's in the walls as well. It's all happening here at Darcy Street. Oh, Hal just took a little bit too much time over that one and gets out of it scot-free. Just waiting for it to sit down. Ball comes forward for Hae-Yun Kim again. And it's avoiding Enu Anderson. White just putting the gas to the pedal. And blocked away just. That was looking for the back stick, and a little handy boot in the way from the Kingborough defenders. Tasman White buzzing around now. It's their confidence just growing in the game. And hasn't had the cleanest or most clinical day in terms of the final ball or in terms of her shooting just yet, but creating a lot with her movement, and that was another good opportunity for South Hobart crafted. Here goes Min-Hee Kim. Olahead right on her back. Sells Olahead well, but Olahead recovers strongly. And goes Watkins. She'll be wanting to run forward, using that attacking experience in the Davis direction. It peels off around Fuchs and goes around her well, and Black again blocking it. And Black having to do a lot of defensive work in her return to WSL football. And just the link up hasn't quite been there for Kingborough today. It's just been that 5 or 10% off that you can't really afford to have against the likes of South Hobart. Here comes Aaliyah Browning. She's done a lot of running in that midfield today. She'll take a breather, and Phoebe Clifford will come on, and Nikki Mutsatsos as well will also make her way onto the pitch. Just trying to see who's gone over on that far side. Just making their way around. Maddie Chambers having to make the long trek around backside of Darcy Street, and Howe also will have a break, and Greta Cravatin-Gunn will take her place for Kingborough. So a few changes to both teams, and that's a decent ball into the back stick where White's lurking. So everyone switched off there for a second, and that was a good sliding ball across. Kingborough just taking their breath here. They'll be keen to get a goal here. Definitely been South Hobart dominating. They had their chances as well. I think if the game was 10-5 or 6-1, that would be maybe a little bit more fair than just being shut out in the game. Again, South Hobart have so much quality on the park. Here goes White. Skipping through, and a little bit too creative was Caitlin Stalker, looking for the reverse ball through. Found a little gap for it. Running into about 15 minutes to play. And we do have NPL up next. You may be able to hear in the FX microphones the men's team's music trying to get pumped up for their game. It'll be just around the corner at 2 p.m. Should be another intriguing game. And these two teams, more so in the women's than the men's, a bit of a rivalry. Pretty close. The two most southern teams. The outlet derby is only I like to call it. But with so much player transfer, I guess, from both clubs over the last few seasons, it's only natural that that's happened. And Tilly Wills is coming back on, so Kingborough have been down to 10 in that period of time. So I'll be happy just to have held on. As Clifford has moved over to the right fullback after coming on, and Watkins has gone up forward. It's a bit chaos in the box. Few players on the ground. No free kick, says the referee. Luxartsos should be wanting to make a good impact. It goes direct for Rose to collect. Hasn't quite been as in sync, I would say, from South Hobart in the second half, and they haven't needed to be. They're 4-0 up at half time. You may be likely to take the foot off the gas to some degree. And also trialling, I guess, a lot of different players in terms of substitutions. Here goes White, though. She'll want to put another one on the board. A good cut inside and excellently met by Anna Fuchs. Kingborough defence desperately trying to get up here. They've just been so deep all game and they've had to counter-attack from this sort of position, so South with numbers back, but Page trying to go around Booth here. Almost gets her way through, but Lucy Booth, nice little pass back inside, and now Westwood. Don't think she's misplaced one of these passes all day. Really nicely set up for a fullback. Out wide, Davis is in acres of space here, left her alone. Bucks had to come out to meet her, and she's done pretty well just to shoulder her off and make that angle tight. Still another shot on target for South Hobart, of which they've had quite a few today. Rose has handled it pretty well since that opening goal let in, and Kingborough are able to take advantage of our long kick this time. Kim is weaving her way around, and a beautiful little through ball. That's a wicked slicing pass in the Lucy Page direction. A little bit too much sauce on it. And South Hobart, as they want to do, they're just going to get straight back on that counter-attack with Watkins had Laura Davis lurking at the back stick. Not run onto it. Fuchs just having to carry that one out and get it out of trouble. And Kingborough will reload here. They're definitely having a bit more of the ball in the second half. They just sort of run themselves into these positions where it's a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 sort of position. Don't have a heap of support out there. Wills will do well just to keep possession and get the rest of the team up forward. And still 15 minutes to play here. Again, you want to be setting a good example for the rest of the season, finish out strong, and get those minutes into the legs of the players that need them. Nicely done by Kim, is Min-hee Kim. And away, there you go, it's Min-hee. And So Young just setting it up. And another substitution here. This will be Kingborough's second round of subs. So they've got 2 coming on. There's Enya Anderson coming off. Left back. It's been a tumultuous time for the back 4 of Kingborough today. And just trying to see things. Lucy Page might have gone off over that far side. And she'll make that long trudge around the outside. Hayun Kim. Cravat and Gunn a little bit undercooked on that pass. And Davis in one-on-one with Black. She's got the pace advantage, but Black does well to show her outside. Not handled well by Cravat and Gunn. White just looks for Watkins on the little slip pass. Watkins does run onto it and ricochets it in. Unselfishly done by Jasmine White. And to play the creator on that occasion, and Watkins found herself in behind the South Hobart 6th. And that is just another signal to the rest of the competition. South Hobart, they have an attacking potency that you will not see too often. And Sammy Watkins getting on the board for her first goal this season, having to start out as a fullback and then getting the switch across to the left wing, really more her natural position. 10 minutes to go here. Can Kingborough get on the score sheet, or will South Hobart keep putting them to the sword? As I said, I think a lot of these substitutes from South Hobart will be wanting to make a good impact. Here is one of them trying to pressure Lee, and Clifford makes that challenge. With Sartsos now. Sartsos again with a good ball through. Watkins, those fresh legs. Comparatively, you can see how tired the Kingborough defence is. It's still got to hold out for another 10 minutes. There's Wills again in a 2-on-1. She does have an option back. It's spread across to Cravat and Gunn. It's Min Hee Kim. And she shoots with good direction but not enough power. And Casey Ponting hasn't had a heap to do in terms of evasive action or any diving saves today. Just had to be solid back there, and more probably as a player with her feet rather than her hands today. Yeah, Kingborough have crafted a few half opportunities, a few better than others. It was one excellent So Young Lee shot that just flashed across the face. It almost found its way in. But apart from that, it's been soft shots that haven't been too hard for Ponting to make a save on. Kingborough enjoying a little bit more territory though, and in the second half they haven't been quite so overwhelmed, I would say, but again, haven't put anything on the score sheet. In South Hobart, it seems to me like I wouldn't say they've taken the foot off the gas to any extent at all, but just haven't had to, just been able to sort of let Kingborough have it a little bit more. There's no real imperative on them having it at all. They've maintained the defence very well. Here goes Watkins. Fuchs sliding in. Sorry, Cravat and Gunn sliding in. Both of them at a time. And here goes Hennessy's clearance. Head up to Talara Lawson, who is one of the young subs for Kingborough. And they definitely have a more youthful flavour to their side this season as well. I mean, they'll obviously be sweating on the re-entry of Hannah Walsh at some point. I think she will make this team tick a little bit easier and be able to feed the likes of Min Hee Kim a little bit more. Lucy Page had some good passages, and Lawson on now. Here goes Wheels. She get in behind Kanagisa, and Kanagisa just a stone wall back there. Beautiful use of the body, steps on it, and plays it up towards Watkins, but safely out of play. I think they'll be desperate for this clean sheet, South Hobart. Westwood and Kanagisa have been really solid back there today. And there's a point of pride for the defence. They'll be wanting to do that. And now they can just keep it. Kanagisa says, maybe we'll go direct again. They're chopped out pretty well, and actually Kingborough in a decent position here. They just need that overlapping run. Emily Hughes is there, and she will receive it eventually. One of these younger players for Kingborough. And it's a misplaced pass, and Clifford easily dealing with that one. Ball coming in again from Hughes, just over her head, and she's able to take the throw in again. Seven minutes. Can Kingborough pull one back here? They've been close a couple of times and they've had better possession. Here's Wheels. The player coming, Hughes, had to get rid of it. Did well. Lee, again, all ahead, been super impressive in the defensive midfield. Very hard to get past back there. And running out the full 90. It's a good re-entry for her into the WSL. We'll sort of reshape that Southern Championship potentially a bit. I'll have one eye on that throughout the season. With Daniels and Olahead coming across. Here's Stalker. Nice ball for White. Something impressive about today that South Hobart have been very rarely offside. White and Davis really timing their runs to perfection, and maybe that's a back four not quite being in sync from on behalf of Kingborough, but those two being able to use their pace to get in behind very well today. The Stalker, it's a free header for Davis, who stands it up and just past the post. Not another goal for Laura Davis. It's already scored numerous times today. And very impressive. The hat-trick against her old club. And I think it would be frustrating for some Kingborough fans to look at that score sheet today and see Kanagisa, see Davis and Watkins all on the score sheet for South Hobart, all former Kingborough players of various vintage. Like Davis in particular, having been there for so long. Bit of a shame for Lions supporters to see her playing over South Hobart, but I think with Morton coming across and just the general sort of arms race that's happening across both the WSL and NPL, the players, taste of silver would be very nice for her to have at some point in her career. It's Mutsatsos. The through ball is fielded by Black. Wheels. Stalker, who's been also very lively today, running out the 90 as well. Clifford gets slid into by Wheels. He was a bit exasperated by that challenge. He's slightly two-footed and does get a yellow card for her troubles. Five minutes to go here. 6-0 to the good is South Hobart. Supporters will just love to see that scoreline, given all the off-season business as well. Seeing that team gelling You can see there's still a little bit of improvement to go for this side as well. It's definitely not oiled at 100% just yet, but it doesn't need to be with the amount of talent they have either. Once they do, I'm very much looking forward to these Devonport South Hobart games this season. They'll be ones to watch, that's for sure, as Cross comes in and finds a side netting. And I think for Kingborough, it's just a question of, definitely you can see there's some good building blocks there as well. I think the 3 Korean imports definitely have showed some talent today, especially in keeping the ball in these sorts of areas. Just about getting these younger players up to speed and also gelling as a squad just because of the number of outs that they've had. But again, Hannah Walsh being out today, a little bit of a limiting factor on, I would say, their attacking forces. It's away again by Kingborough. There's Kim. Wheels. It's a Minhee Kim. And again, a nice turn from Hae Yuen. I think it's starting to be, 88 minutes in the game, a little bit harder to turn past 4 players. Watkins just says, I'll have that one. Only been on for 45 minutes and would love another goal. Allhead spreading it out wide. Hughes will make the challenge. Nice little ball roll. And Black playing the pass that needed to be played. He goes So Young. Has Lawson taking up a good position out wide, and then she'll try to run in behind Booth. It's a one-on-one, but touch is a bit heavy and well done by the fullback. And now South Hobart could just afford to sit on the ball here for the next couple of minutes. It looks like they're trying to mount 1 or 2 last attacks. Will's still working hard late into the game. Spread across by Watkins. Booth now. Goes into the middle, Davis. And Sartsos teed up for a little bit, but took a hop in front of her. And the blazing sunshine here at Darcy Street now is looking mighty overcast. It's getting quite warm actually in the sun, so should be good conditions for the men's game, maybe even a little bit more energy draining. See how tired the girls are after this one, first game of the season in the sun. Davis finding a pocket again, shapes to shoot, and there's the near side netting.
The length is like yours right now. No. Yeah, I thought even did this in the game away. It's like a rush of game.
Rose thumps it forward. Will's in a little bit of space. Doesn't have any options though, and that's really been the key today. South Hobart's defence has not let Kingborough out of their half too often and hasn't made it easy for them at all today. Even if they have been able to get a bit of space, there's no options for them and they've been closed down quickly. Just that slight athleticism gap, I would say. They will keep trying. Wills breaks the ankles in Mutsatsos, so it might have actually twisted her knee there. It's a little bit sore over here. I almost got caught up in that little hole. Kingborough will continue their attack. As Lee is cramping up and yeah, just checking on the welfare of Mutsatsos. That didn't look that good, really just buckled under her there. And she's holding it fairly strongly, so just let the medical professionals see to her, but doesn't look that good for the utility player. Just going to... Maybe the referee will have a chat about calling this one potentially early, just given the severity of that potentially. We all know the commonality of knee injuries in the women's game. It's a real shame in how frequently that occurs, and never want to see this as a fan, especially late in a game. It's just a very sharp turn, and there is a little divot there as well, just where she fell. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, but potentially if you've got any ankle or knee sort of twist. She is up and will be helped off by the South Hobart medical staff. And well clapped off by the supporters of both sides as well. Does look in a fair bit of pain. So can't imagine there'll be any more in this one to go, and just really puts a bit of a dampener on that one. 6-0 win for South Hobart, obviously very well. Supporters should be happy about that one, but you never want to see one of your key players hit the deck, and they've unfortunately had to deal with that a couple of years in a row. Lucy Roberts out with an ACL last season as well. I mean, we don't know what's happened to them at Sartos, but it didn't look good. And girls will play it out, yeah, just for another minute or two. And it will be an emphatic 6-0 win for South Hobart. Laura Davis with a hat-trick against her old side. Will be a slightly sore spot for Kingborough supporters. Danielle Canagisa also scoring off the long-range effort, canning off the crossbar. Kingborough did put a gainful effort in, but couldn't get on the scoreboard. They'll be looking to build from there. Definitely some good building blocks for them, but for South Hobart, an emphatic victory for them. 6-0 to the good. So we'll send a signal and some shockwaves throughout the WSL. But obviously with that Sartos injury, maybe not the sweetest way to end that game. But thanks so much for joining me for this one. We'll be back in a few minutes just for the NPL men's game, both Kingborough and South Hobart here at Darcy Street, which should be an exciting game. And we'll rejoin you after a small break, but thanks so much for joining me. My name's Alex Mummery, and we'll see you in just a minute.